I meant, guys, I'm right back. Honestly, sometimes I'm telling you, what do my grandchildren tell me to do all the time? Okay? What do they tell me to do? Okay, let me just see. I want to make sure you're getting your notifications. Here you are. I'm back on, guys. Guess what? Oh, I touched the wrong button. Okay, so okay, I'm not going to say hello again. I'm just going to let you come back. So come on back on, guys. Sorry. And this time, it's absolutely my fault, okay? I touched the wrong button. I meant to scroll a little bit to see questions, and what did I do? I cut myself off. What's new? I'm so crazy. I'm pulling out my senior card again today. I gotta laugh at myself because some days I'm crazier than a hoot owl. What was I doing touching my phone? Stop touching it. I've got another device right here. There was no need for me to touch it. And someone says, Beverly says, I'm too close now. Is that true, guys? Okay. It was me. It wasn't even, usually I can blame it on Facebook. I'm laughing at myself because by the way, if you don't have a sense of humor around me, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, that was Caroline and Patricia asking the question about GLPs. I get asked every day, I think. Grace is asking, what is Dr. Martin's opinion on using a smoker for cooking? Go for it. Barbecuing. Go for it. Don't overcook it. Guys, like I said, sometimes we get into the weeds, okay? We get into the weeds. When I say eat meat, I mean it. How you like it? Someone will say, well, barbecue meat ain't no good for you. A barbecue steak is great. You got a smoker? Smoke it and eat it. Don't get into the weeds, because some people, they're perfectionists. They want perfection before they eat anything. Well, good luck with that. Because someone's asking, let me get to it, because they're asking about bacon. Because it bothers people when I tell people to eat bacon. What about, wait a minute. Somebody asked me this, so I've got to answer it. Elaine, what about all the unhealthy sugar and salt in bacon? Okay? Well, look, if you can get bacon, and you can, without any preservative in it, okay, because that's why they use the salt. Salt is a preservative, guys. Okay? Read your Bible. That's what they used. They didn't have refrigeration. What did they do with meat? They put salt on it. Okay? And they usually use celery powder. That's where you get nitrates. Why is that bad for you? Is celery powder bad for you? No. Yeah, like I read labels too, Elaine. Okay, so you go to Costco or whatever and you look at the bacon, it's got an ingredient of sugar. Yeah. But I mean, you're not even getting in every slice, you wouldn't even get a milligram of it. I'm not saying it's perfect. So if you want perfection, go find bacon that's got no sugar and no salt. I know there are some. But you have to understand, Elaine, from me, I'm talking to a wide audience, and I want them to know that bacon is good for them. Very good for them. It's better than oatmeal in the morning. That's why I do it. That's why I say it. I'd rather them get bacon, and even if it has a little bit of sodium in it, and as a preservative, because that's why they do it, and maybe a little bit of sugar they put there, I'd rather them have that than have oatmeal in the morning, or cereal in the morning, or bagel in the morning, or toast in the morning. Because that bacon is 1,000 times better than that for your blood sugar, for your insulin. That's why I say it. Okay? I know. First of all, we don't live in a perfect world. I can tell you that right now. But I like, Elaine, that you read labels. What do I teach you? Read labels. But for a general audience, I always tell them, you're on the Titanic. Don't worry about the deck chairs. We'll deal with the deck chairs. We'll deal with the furniture after. Let's just get you away from the iceberg. You've got metabolic syndrome. You're unhealthy. I want you to eat bacon. What did I say this week? God gave you a gift. Enjoy it. People look at bacon. Just look at bacon. Okay? Use your eyeballs. Look at it. You go, oh, look at all the fat in bacon. Yeah. And that fat is going to turn to an oil that's the same oil as olive oil. Look at olive oil. Why is olive oil good and bacon isn't? It's got the same oil. Oleic acid. So that's me, Elaine. You have to understand, I know that you go to the grocery store, you read your labels, and they have preservatives in, most of them have preservatives in bacon. I know that. Sausages. But I'd rather you eat that than eat a granola bar. Because it's 100 times better for you. That's where I come from, okay? I'm glad you brought that up, Elaine, because first of all, I'm very proud that you know how to read labels. I want you to read labels. And as you go down the road of your health road, well, then you can tweak. There's better bacon. I know where to find it. I can go get it. But you still should be eating bacon. Right? You don't dismiss it and throw it out with the baby with the bathwater. That's where I come from. Very, very, very good questions. It gets me on my little tangents. Okay. That was Grace asking about cooking or whatever. Bev's asking about the hormone DHT and total body hair loss. I've experienced this and I am at total loss what to do. I'm getting a lot of ads about salt, palmetto, pumpkin seed supplements. You could try them. They attach to DHT. I don't know. I you know. Biggest thing you're going to do for your hair is eat protein. Because your hair is made up of protein. So that's in your diet. Is your thyroid not functioning properly, Bev? Okay? I mean, that's another thing. There's certain shampoos that sort of bind the DHT. Are they really good? I don't know. I don't think there's any magic for hair loss, okay? Otherwise, I'd be using it. And I always worked inside out, okay? I was more of not external shampoos or whatever, like pumpkin seed and all that. I like that. I mean, I'm not against it. It's actually good for men and the prostate too. Flax seeds are good for your hair because they bind extra estrogen. And that can be a big factor because that slows your thyroid down, your thyroid metabolism. Anyway, no magic, Bev. There's no magic. Read the scroll other people might have. If you can, Elaine, Bev, I mean, look at what they're saying. You're eating good. Good for you. I like bone broth. I don't know how many times when I was in practice that hairdressers would tell my patients, what are you doing with your hair? It's getting thicker. It's better. And they were taking bone broth. And they really liked, the hairdresser liked what they saw. And you usually don't fool a hairdresser. Okay. Elaine, she's got an abscess. You might have to take an antibiotic. There's times where you got no choice. You've got an abscess in your tooth. You need to take an antibiotic. Sometimes you can't get away without it. I would rinse my mouth with oil of oregano. Take probiotics so that you don't kill all your friendly bacteria and double up your probiotics. Let me see, what else is she asking me, Elaine? Can it resolve itself sometimes? Sometimes you have to, like, I don't like root canals. I don't. Okay? Because you're leaving a dead tooth there, and unfortunately, the side effect of that is a bacterial, a low-grade infection. The body tries to deal with it, and I don't like that, okay? I really don't like root canals. I'm not a dentist, and I know sometimes they choose that. In my opinion, with an abscess, if it's not resolved with an antibiotic, I remember an old dentist friend of mine says, take it out. Take the tooth out. Get rid of it better so that you don't have the decay. So, yeah, thanks for the question. Milika, a lot of issues. Her husband's having major stomach issues. Okay? Severe reflux. Well, look, he might, Milika, have no choice but to be on a proton pump inhibitor for a bit. And you got to do all of the above. And Rome wasn't built in a day. Change the diet. I think he has, right? Okay? Now, I'm just trying to say about the diet. Like, okay? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't see anything about diet here. I just see, okay? You have to change the diet because what starts in the stomach with low acid, it's not too much acid, it's low acid. That's how it starts, okay? In the stomach. And the body overcompensates, makes a lot of acid, the proton pump, and it can be very, very uncomfortable. You gotta just, first things first, have to change the diet. Your gut was not made for all the sugar and all the carbohydrates. You gotta get rid of the breads, the noodles, the muffins, the bagels, get rid of it. You got to almost go cold turkey. and your stomach will appreciate the meat. Digestive enzymes, probiotics, big time. Okay? Digestive enzymes, probiotics, regenerate that gut. You know, like I said, the proton pump inhibitors, they were supposed to be made for such a short term. You might want them getting to drink a little bit of apple cider vinegar or balsamic vinegar just to restore that acidity. I know it sounds contradictory, but that's the issue. You got to start with the basics and get back, and it's not going to happen overnight. I had tens of thousands of patients over the years, and I had to guide them through this with severe acid reflux. And guess what? We won. They won. But it wasn't simple. It wasn't easy. They needed to trust the process, but they did it. Thanks, Milika. Jim is saying he's had an EKG over the year, electrocardiogram. He's got a aortic valve where there's mild stenosis. That means stenosis, right? Like it's not opening like it should. And the mitral valve might be calcified to some extent and doesn't work so well. And the cardiologist had no recommendations other than a statin. Well, a statin will do nothing for that. I know why they prescribe it, but a statin is not going to help with the mitral valve calcification. It just doesn't. It doesn't. From an alternative natural medicine, I'd have you on Navitol because it opens up the blood supply. That's what you want. Navitol, guys, is blood supply. Opens arteries, capillaries, opens up nitric oxide. I'd have anywhere near the heart. I've had them on ubiquinol, the CoQ10, the right one. The combination CoQ10, Navitol. I love Navitol with combination because of blood supply and then the mitochondria of the heart. I understand why they put them on statins, but that's like why they recommend statins, because they always recommend statins. But that's not going to fix anything. Because the problem is not cholesterol. Okay. Thea. She has a friend who has mast cell, okay? MCAS, mast cells syndrome. They make too many mast cells, M-A-S-T. What are mast cells? Well, mast cells are cells that I used to see lots of them in people who had any kind of allergies. They release antihistamines, okay? Or histamines. And so, not antihistamines. Antihistamine is quercetin. I'd have that person on quercetin, Navitol. But you got to start in the gut because they got leaky gut. And the body is producing all these antibodies and the mast cells are going crazy. And you have an overstimulation of them. But if you got to fix leaky gut. Usually, whenever I saw this in my practice, they had a major fungal infection in the body. Yeast. Leaky gut. Start there. Will it get better? Yeah, I've seen it get a lot better. Eileen. Okay. Typically, she could eat anytime. And a week ago, I noticed I'm not hungry. I still eat at meals, but do you think there's anything that I'm taking that would be helping with that? Yeah, like probably the cortisol. Okay? Remember, if your cortisol is high, it elevates your blood sugar. It gets you ready for the fight or flight. Blood sugar goes up. What goes up must come down. The blood sugar comes down. Now you're hungry. Now that you're not hungry, it's because your cortisol is being leveled out. That's my educated guess. And that's a good question, Eileen. Okay, and this is from Anonymous, didn't give name. Okay, let me see here. What's the question? I have AFib and is on a blood thinner, Eliquis. I have osteoporosis. And she eats eggs, meat, and cheese, walks 3 or 4 miles every day, lift weights, good for you, taking vitamin D 5,000. My doctor said it can be too much. It can lead to too much calcium in the blood, which causes brittle bones, decreases bone density, increases bone loss. Hold on. I don't have your name, but your doctor just gave me a migraine. I mean, vitamin D is the first thing you want to do for osteoporosis, okay? The fact that it can give you calcium, that's why you take vitamin D. I have it this morning because I just took it. Vitamin D with K2. You know that I recommend that. The K2, that takes calcium and it puts it into your bones. That's why I want you to eat eggs, meat, and cheese, because you have calcium in eggs, meat, and cheese with vitamin K2. See, God put it in food so that when you eat an egg, the calcium in an egg or dairy or meat goes to your bones, doesn't stay in your blood. Okay? 5,000 IUs of vitamin D, you're going to get toxic. See, you get 10,000 IUs of vitamin D if you go in the sun for 20 minutes. There's a war on vitamin D. They don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, make sure you're taking your vitamin D with K2. Thanks for the question. Laurie, okay, one more. We got another session for sure. Okay? Wait a minute. I went way down too far and I'm lost. Okay. Lori, one more. Lori, my mom is 77. She's a pup. She had x-rays on her hip and back pain due to pain, and the results are severe arthritis in her hip. She eats many carbs. Yeah, start with that. 77, never too late. I'm not saying you're going to get rid of the arthritis, but it sure helps with the pain when you get rid of sugar. Tell her I said so. And get her on vitamin D, get her on the Navitol. It really helps with the joints, anti-inflammatory, curcumin, for sure. And get rid of the carbs, if she'll listen. Okay? If she'll listen. Tell her it comes from another senior citizen. It might help. Okay. That was Lori. Thanks, Laura. We love you. Okay, guys, Sorry for the mix-up in halfway through the show. Oh, my word. Brandy's going to kill me. Okay, we love you. Talk to you soon. Oh, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I want to know. I want you to know how much we love you guys. Moms. The best. Talk to you soon.